I love working with anything that kind of supports nature. Because people don't listen to scientists with their facts. When it comes to nature, they listen to something that touches their soul. So the only way, I think, to speak about these messages, we need music, I think, and art to properly convey these messages. 101 part-time jobs, yes.
You've got 101 part-time jobs.
Yes, I do.
What's your email look like? How many unread emails do you have?
Quite a few. But emails is the language of hell.
Yeah. I've got a new trick where to keep it fun, I write my name and I write what I got for my school grades beneath.
I like that.
I think that's quite fun.
That's very fun. If I saw that in a mail, I would be absolutely delighted.
Mm-hmm. And you could do like a sign-off, like all the best.
My sign-off is, sadly, and has been for a long time without me remembering to change it. It's been, I think it's AURORA, hasta la pasta. And in very serious, it's funny when you answer serious things. Or like, I'm so sorry for your loss. And then hasta la pasta, peace. So it's very funny, but also very inappropriate. It depends who I mail with.
You've grown up as an artist. You know, you've experienced the growth of yourself as a human being, as an adult.
True.
And
yes.
As an artist, you're always, you've grown up in public.
Yes, to a certain degree. Well, Norway is a small country, so once you go big there, you kind of stay big. And Norwegians, we like to forgive, but we never forget. And I was never forgotten. And here it is. So it's a strange thing to learn. But I guess, like with everything, I always try to find just, okay, this is shit. Sorry, can I swear?
Of course,
okay.
Yeah.
This is shit, and how do I make myself feel less shit about it if it's unavoidable? Mm-hmm. And if, most likely, the amount of the shit is going to increase with time. Like, I know that most likely I'm just going to grow and become more and more known. Seems like it's going that way anyways. I can't really control it. And then you kind of just think, like when political things happen in the world, then you have a voice, which is cool. As long as you research your opinion, say something clever, which so many people don't. Assholes. And when you meet people on the street that want to talk to you, it's hard to get from A to B when you're known. Mm-hmm. But then people have a lot of beautiful things to say. And I get to meet like maybe 20 people a day that shows me their heart right away, which is a very rare way to meet people, strangers. And that's pretty cool, because it has really opened my eyes to kind of falling in love with people and being very hopeful. So everything has good sides and bad sides, I think.
You'll always find out something new, learn something new from whoever you speak with.
Yes. And even just to learn something new about a stranger you just met that comes from the inside of their being. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I get told things I don't think they even tell their friends, because I'm just also a stranger. So it's like a gift, an offering of a secret. Mm-hmm. Then I get to carry it with me, and I often just put all these emotions of people I meet in my music. It's quite a beautiful process. But I'm an introvert, so it also sucks. But it's also beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's kind of all we have at the end of our lives, is our feelings and our memories and what we care most about.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
What are your routines? I mean, you're kind of your own boss.
Yes.
Have you got any recent routines that you've been getting into and really enjoying?
No, I'm the most chaotic I don't even have an ounce of them, I think. I never know what I'm doing tomorrow or later today. I'm just kind of always running after, but it always fixes itself and kind of goes well in the end. But my routine is kind of to not know anything about anything. I just kind of float around and I do the thing any moment asks of me the best I can. And that's kind of my routine. I think it's important to, when you're so busy, because I work a lot, we all do, but I travel, like my work requires a lot of being away and traveling, and just it's very unroutine friendly. And I am a being of routines. I'm neurodivergent. We like routines. I don't get to have them. I brush my teeth every morning. That's a routine.
That's good. That's a really good one. Do you floss?
I do in the evening, but not in the morning, no. I simply refuse to floss in the morning.
You heard it here. It's painful.
It is. It bleeds. But as we spoke about earlier, because we are actually allowed to speak outside of the podcast too, we spoke about blood. It is an interesting thing, isn't it?
Do you remember the first time you really hurt yourself? Like you fell off a bike, or the first time you really grazed your knee and realised perhaps that you're a fallible human being?
Yes. Or I've broken many ribs and toes and fingers and arms, and I've bled a lot in my life because I'm very... I was very wild. I was a wildling when I was a child. And I jumped a lot off, like roofs and trees, and broke things. I don't know what was wrong with me. But I thought it was going to be fine. But I've hurt myself a lot in my life. I have all these different scars. This is from a nail. But yeah, it's kind of a thing you get used to. It doesn't kill you. Made me strong as heck.
I used to play a game with my friend Sam where we'd use his uncle's motorcycle helmet and climb as far as we could up the tree and then jump. Because we had the motorcycle helmet, we thought, it's going to be okay.
You will be safe.
Yeah. It didn't work.
I can imagine. Did you survive it or did you die?
Yeah, here now.
Are you?
Yeah, unless I'm a carbon copy.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah.
That's very good to hear.
Watched a film last night called Infinity Pool. You seen it?
No, I just made that sound. I don't know why. It came as a reflex.
It's quite a bad movie, but a good one.
But I kind of like that. I kind of like those. They make you feel. Those movies, it doesn't really connect you to yourself and your inner emotions too much, but there's still a pleasant way to make time go, which is needed sometimes.
Definitely. Do you listen to much music outside of what you'd usually listen to for that kind of?
I never listen to music, almost. I don't really like music too much. Or I like... It's kind of a lot to have music on all the time. I really struggle in restaurants and bars and stuff when we are talking and there's music. Then I just listen to the music and I cannot focus on what people say. I find it really stressful. So I'm not a big fan of like music in the background. Sometimes when I travel, I will put it on because the sound of travel is shit. Like flying, and it's just so It's so noisy. So then I listen to mostly heavy metal, sometimes Enya.
Yeah.
2 different moods.
You're on the new Bring Me record.
Yes, I am.
Listen this morning. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Your voice suits that track so well.
Thank you.
Did you know Bring Me much before this time?
Yes, I did. I've known them for a long, long, long time. Because I was very into like really dark black metal when I was a little child. Now I've gone over to a bit more melodic stuff as well, mixed with, you know, metal, which I can also enjoy. But I'm very into like really hard metal. And I had a lover who loved Bring Me the Horizon. And I thought first that they were a bit too soft. But then I listened to it more and they kind of just grew on me. And now this lover isn't on this earth anymore, sadly. So it felt really magical and kind of heartwarming and heartbreaking to now be on their album. He would have lost his pants.
Great.
But there are no pants in heaven. That's why it's heaven.
Bring Me the Horizon are one of those great bands that started off as well, I guess all artists start off as a DIY artist, right?
So cool.
And to watch them go from the playing at the skate park to the small venues, it's a culture. It's a group of friends.
It is. And Ollie is amazing. He's a beautiful man. Very sweet. It was a very pleasant, very fun experience. It was very random. I don't even know how I ended up there, but we just did it ourselves.
Yeah. Was it quick? When you get sort of features on records, you get a call, you get an email. Do you record it on your side? Do you go to see them?
I prefer to go to see them. Or when I did Frozen Planet with David Attenborough, Hans Zimmer, then I did a lot of it remote.
Mm-hmm.
Remote, yeah. No? Yeah? Because he's in LA. Doing this apparently, and I'm dancing for the people that can't see. And I was in Norway doing this, also dancing. So then it was easier to kind of record it, send it, or it would be a hell to. And it wasn't during the COVID, I don't know. But yes, that's the only feature that I've done in my own studio. But both with the Chemical Brothers and Bring Me the Horizon, I was in the studio.
Yeah.
And we just play. I just go, and they're like, oh, that's cool. Do that again. And I do that again. It's very simple.
Being on the soundtrack of Frozen Planet, that's something that everyone will remember for a long, long time. What do you think you'll remember most of those sessions? I know you say you record it remotely, but those conversations you had with Hans Zimmer and it being such an incredible production, what do you think you'll remember most from that time?
Well, everyone on the team were just absolutely beautiful people. And they were so deserving of the chance of making music to this really devastating show. Because you really see the signs of our beautiful, colorful earth turning grey and dead slowly. You really see these signs just within the animal life across the earth, and it's really heartbreaking. So to see all the musicians and all the composers that were on the show, how genuinely broken they all were. It felt just so right and deserving that everyone who touched it with such emotion and empathy and true meaning. It wasn't just, I don't know, it felt so right. Beautiful people. So I just remember feeling so at home, and so happy that just these people were making the music. But yeah, Hans Zimmer is very funny. We laugh a lot. I was like, yep, I need to go now. I'm having boring time. Going to go home and masturbate. And he was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go do the same.
Self-care.
Yeah. That's really good.
Did that experience change the way that you make music?
No. But no, it hasn't changed anything. But it has. No, nothing. But it has. No, again and again forever. No, but it was an experience that lights up my heart every time I think about it. I love working with anything that kind of supports nature. Because people don't listen to scientists with their facts. when it comes to nature, they listen to something that touches their soul. So the only way, I think, to speak about these messages that contain so much facts and logic for people to understand the desperate need we are in, we need music, I think, and art to properly convey these messages.
Your fans, your community, warriors, fucking cool.
Yeah.
Really fucking cool.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. That they're your people. You know, when we think of music's a language, and the people that speak the language can have so much effect. It can bring so much kind of power and self-empowerment to each other.
Yeah.
With this new record, what happened to the heart?
Yeah.
Is there a new? I mean, it's a new chapter of your story. With every record, there's a book.
Mm-hmm.
What's the chapter? What's on this record? What's the message? What's the narrative of this album, if there is one?
Well, it actually has a lot to do with what you just said, that music is a language. And so much of the music people listen to today doesn't speak to the soul anymore. Like properly to our soul. Doesn't fill us up with something real, and there's a lot of lack of soul in a lot of music that people listen to. It doesn't mean it's bad or good. It's just that I think that a very important purpose of music is to speak to us in a way that nothing else does. And also, if food is a language, the food we eat is crap as well. It has no soul anymore. A lot of the food people eat, it's made from God knows what. You know, and the clothes we wear has no soul. We all look the same. The buildings used to be created in such beautiful ways, and now I'm looking outside my window now, and it looks like a prison. Imagine being in there every day. Or it has windows, so maybe it's delightful, but from the outside it looks like shit. And I'm just thinking, all of these things that we have left to speak to something really important inside of us are now so deprived of life. There's so much dead things that we have replaced with what used to be alive things, if that makes sense. And that, I think, is very scary, because you see how hard it is for us to care about each other, how easily we are letting other people hurt if it's far away, if it's for the food we eat or the clothes we wear. Or it's so easy for us to kind of don't mind whoever is hurting, as long as they're not our family. As long as as long as they are not our family, and as long as they are not our blood, we don't really care. And I find it so surprising. And after COVID, the world was kind of waking up. People were like, oh, we can go outside again. Oh, food, oh, people, music, oh, we're so alive, we see each other. And then we just went back to normal. And I read this letter written by a lot of indigenous activists and leaders across the world. And it was called We Are the Earth. And they were kind of, I guess, simply put, pleading for the world to think more with the heart and less with the mind, because obviously whoever led us here has fucked us all up, because we're dying, and the business of war is more important than the lives of people. So the point we have come to is so bad, and I cannot understand how we even came to this point. So yeah, I asked myself a lot, what happened to the heart, and why did we value its abilities so much more before? The heart used to be the center of emotion and intention and intuition And then, like with the philosophers in the ancient Greek times, they were like, the heart is a pump.
Yeah.
The heart makes blood. Feels, it's so weird how we reduced the abilities of the heart. It used to be so beautiful, and then it became so simple. And we decided that these important abilities, they must be abilities of the mind. And now we value the mind more than the heart in the way we rule the world, like logic and, all of these things. And I think it's so bad. We need much more balance. Sorry, that was a huge rant, but it's a hard theme to explain shortly.
It's sad because I feel it in myself.
Yeah.
For, if I need to pay rent, or I need to pay bills, or I'm cleaning out my cat's toilet, there are all these things going on that sometimes you don't have any time left in the day to love yourself or other people.
It's so true. And even just like the small basic needs of human contentness, just to have a home, a house, food, is so out of reach for people. Just something really obvious and simple that could make us all so happy if we accepted it. But also being human in itself is very hard. With, there's a lot of things going on in our silly heads. It makes it hard to be us. But outside of that, I mean, even human contentness is so far away, which is truly heartbreaking. And so many people now don't even know if they'll ever be able to stop working or waste life in an office that they don't enjoy, with colleagues they don't feel at home with, to ever own a house or be able to have like, it's interesting how young people now are worrying about things like this in a different way than before. And then they dream of big, meaningless things, like being super rich or super famous or super pretty. And that's also so out of reach that it just makes us even more unhappy. Like, it's weird. It's weird for people to live now. But I think we can feel, like you said, something is a bit off, something is a bit wrong. Life on Earth isn't complete. And it sounds very like spiritual, but it isn't. We've killed so many species. I think we feel it somewhere. We must. No? That just, somewhere something is just off. And I believe it can be fixed. But then we need someone to tell us, apparently. We don't have the ideas on our own. So we need someone or something to tell us that we have to reconnect to ourselves, food, animals, earth, these simple, beautiful things that makes life so worth it. Yeah, no. I'm really confused by the times because I have such empathy for everyone because it's so hard. But also I'm so disappointed in people as well, that we're so passive when people need us. But it's hard. It's hard. But I am hopeful. I wouldn't ask the question if I didn't think it had any use. So I only ask the question, what happened to the heart, because I believe that people have what is needed in here to fix whatever we need to fix.
Yeah. What are the things in life that make you feel closest to that idea of things will get better, things can get better?
I feel like our phones gives us a chance to see everything very big, things very far away, people in big numbers, not names, which makes kind of everything seem more out of reach to even change, if that makes sense. But then I feel very hopeful when I look at things in the small, because it's all the small things that is the whole purpose of life, I think. When you meet people and they smile to you, just like a kid who for a moment don't know where his mother is, and you see him like the panic, and then you see his face change when he sees her again, and just how desperately happy they are to see the parent that they see every day. Just the love we have for each other is quite a beautiful thing. And the way people do help when they see it here and now, there is a lot of beauty in us. We are a beautiful species. But it's like we started rewarding people who cheat their way up and people who lie, instead of rewarding people who are truthful. And then I think that's where the problem really started, when we picked the wrong people to be at the top. Or I don't know if we picked them or if they claimed it, but yeah, for many years, like even just royalty fucked people over for so many hundreds of years. And it's very sad that it's the unbalance between the people and the leaders, and that the people think they don't have the power to affect, when it's all the power is in our very hands. Sorry, I forgot what you asked.
I forgot too. But it makes me think that sometimes we get a way to live positively is to surround yourself with good people, which is harder for other people than it is for some.
It's very true.
But it is something to think about every day. Even pets. I like snuggling with my cat, and he makes me feel like the world can be a better place. And
yeah.
It's silly.
But it's true. It's so true. Like warm bread, when the butter melts and everything. My God.
Yeah.
It creates there's something magical about it. Like humans have eaten that forever, you know. It's so cool. I fucking love bread. But it's it's about the small things, and I think our phones make us very aware of like the big things and fame, and it makes us forget about all the magic that is like close at hand. And we believe our hands are empty, but they're so full that we don't see it. But yeah.
Do you ever look at your hands sometimes and think, whoa, this is strange. Your hands look strange.
I think about it all the time. I wish, I think it's weird with hands that they can be the most soft thing, like in touch. It can be so soft and so sensual, so beautiful. They can play piano, music, make such beautiful things, but still be so hard and so crude as well, so strong. I like to boulder, and I get amazed by my soft, weak piano hands, what they can do when you're scared, terrified. I'm very scared of bouldering, but I like it. Yes, I climb like that, like a cat. I don't even touch the stones. I just hover my way up the wall. No, it's fascinating. We are very full of juxtapositions as creatures. So I understand why we're so confused. But people is my favorite part of the job. Has become with the years.
You must have lots of people messaging and asking you for advice, life advice, romantic advice, just the kind of advice that they don't know where to. They look to you, they look to your music, they look to your language. Is it easy for you to give people advice? Is that something that you feel comfortable doing?
good way to phrase your question. Because yes, it is easy, but I don't always feel comfortable doing it. Because I think when your word has a certain amount of power, it is very important to be aware of how you use it. So, and sometimes when people think they want advice, what they also just want is to be heard. And the advice doesn't really matter. But it's just to have a space to pour something out of yourself with someone who you trust. Because I feel like my warriors really trust me when we meet, and I trust them as well. It's kind of cool, actually. And shit, I forgot. It's kind of cool. What is cool? I meet warriors. They talk. They trust me. No, it's lost. There's no way of finding it.
Trust is huge. And completely unrelated to trust, but maybe related to trust. You've got a death album.
Yes.
So for every album you put out,
yes,
you saved one track for the death album, for when you go. Are there particular... how do you know if the track is going to be on the death album?
When it really symbolizes that time of my life, when I feel like, oh, that's a song that feels really like how I feel now, then I save it. So when I die and the album comes out with all of the songs, you can see such and be reminded of, I don't know, it's gonna make sense. But yeah, you know it. It's like in that annoying way, like in fantasy movies. When they're like, you'll know when the time comes. And it's like, oh, I need more. But yes, I just know. And that's that.
Have you got a playlist for your own time of other people's songs?
When I die, I'm thinking maybe that song hasn't been written yet. Or I hope that when I die that I would have fallen in love with something new and not just the same as always. So I wish that upon my dying self, to have fallen in love with something new, and then that will be what I listen to. It would definitely be something folky. I want to die with music that sounds like earth. It's my favorite kind. Do you know?
Yeah, I've got a few tracks. Big tracks that I think from my teenagehood.
Yeah.
Is that a word, teenagehood?
It can be.
Things that I picture my friends' faces. I picture my friends smiling. A few of those. Maybe 5 or 6, definitely on my death playlist.
That's nice.
Yeah. Did you work at a pizza restaurant?
Oh, not really. It was like a working program, and I was there for a week, and I washed the building on the outside of the building, the whole pizza building. So that's what I did for a week. I just washed the place with a hose and a sponge and these. And then I was done, and then I went. So I was a washer, I would say. I washed the building right before customers got their pizza. I washed off all the things on their pizza, so all they would ever get was bread. That's what I did.
What did you do with them? What did you do with the mushrooms and the onions?
Put them on the building.
Yeah. It's therapeutic, washing stuff.
It is. It's therapeutic to do. That was the last time in my working life that I ever did something that allowed you to zone out and not hyper-focus. I remember it like it was yesterday. Beautiful.
And it being hyper-focused when you write a song, when you're doing music, it's focus. It's really zoomed in on everything. A lot of brain work.
A lot of brain work, and even especially like when I'm in the studio, I feel completely submerged, and it's hard to, like, I forget to eat, and I just get very into it. But it's also the best feeling to be completely overtaken. It's like love. Like people can live on love and water for a long time. You can live on music and water. You shouldn't, but you could for so long before you even noticed something was off, which is absolutely gorgeous. Music makes me, writing it makes me feel like this existence kind of makes sense. Because we're always searching for what it means and what it is being here. Who knows? But writing music makes me feel a certain calm about it. And then playing it feels like more of a work side of it. Touring, because it's exhausting, but it's beautiful as well. Yeah, and that's the sound of beauty. But it's beautiful as well. The world is so colorful and so cool. People are so cool. And food, oh my God. I'm gonna have Indian food after this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you make it at home, Indian food? Have you made it at home?
I'm terrified. No. But I go out to eat. I love to cook, but my oven hasn't worked in weeks. So every time I come home, I can't even boil water. I haven't had a coffee or food at home in such a long time. No. So yes, I would not lie about this. But yes, I have, so I just eat cold salads and stuff, which is kind of boring, and bread, of course. I'm a huge bread fan. But yeah, I prefer to let all the good food over to the experts for now, until I get my heat back.
Until you make your own recipe book. You can make your own bread.
Yeah. And the recipe book is just how to wash pizzas and how to bake bread.
Yeah.
No, actually, but I love food. Food is important. And it's so important that food isn't only functional, that it's magic. Because then you put magic in you, which is fucking amazing.
A good meal with a good friend. Perfect.
It's all you need. Because I love fantasy novels. I don't know why I'm pointing at your book, but I love fantasy novels. Because they always, when they eat in the fantasy novels, in their adventures, they always eat bread, cheese in an inn somewhere. Yeah. And it tickles my belly. Makes me feel like a little girl.
What's your favourite sandwich?
I don't like when the things are on the bread already. I don't like sandwiches. I don't like when they put things in there. And the tomato can make the bread like soft and or like wet. I don't like it. I like a piece of bread on the side, and then a lump of butter, and then a lump, I don't know what lump of cheese. Good, yeah. Just lots of lumps on my plate, and then I arrange them in my mouth. But I don't like when the ingredients touch.
You're an artist.
Yes, artist. I am. A fartist. That's me.
Aurora, thank you very much.
I can't believe that's the last thing I said in this podcast. But yes, thank you for having me.
It doesn't have to be the last thing.
I'm a fartist. That's it.
We are all fartists at heart.
We are. And I fart.
I fart. I've been trying to not let one out this whole time.
Oh, you're so good. You did so great.
Yeah, you don't even know.
Yeah, you can't even tell.
I'll be telling beetroot.
Poker face. It's really good. I don't have that. You would be able to tell.
People know when you're feeling a certain way. Your friends can tell.
Always. It's very annoying. It's annoying when you try to hide displeasement, or when you don't like something, or when you find something boring, or when you're in love. These 4 emotions are the most agony to fail to hide.
I've got a couple more questions. One of them's very important.
Ask.
there is someone who out there who is getting a cat or a dog and doesn't know what to name them, do you have any recommendations for them?
I would go with Igor Septimus or Shiriam or Denue, maybe, or like Piss. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always think that if I was a superhero, I would be Piss Girl. And my superpower would just be pissing myself to save the world. Sorry, I'm trying. Yeah, that would be my thing. What would be your thing?
My thing.
Piss boy?
Piss boy. Yeah, poop boy.
Poop boy, piss girl.
Or like big ears. I feel like as a kid I had quite big ears. And
I
feel
have big ears.
It's a sign of wealth and strength and prosperity, potentially.
Oh, thank God. Thank the gods.
We would be ear boy, ear girl.
Yeah, ear boy and ear girl.
Mm-hmm.
Disgusting.
Gross.
Those words tastes just the worst in ear girl. Ugh. But it's kind of like eagle, so it's kind of cool again.
Mm-hmm. The eagles.
You at home who is listening, please donate to Piss Girl on pissgirl.com/piss.
I think that might have already been taken on OnlyFans.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, maybe.
Patreon, though.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah. Yeah, when you say it like that, it's actually very, yeah, that's different. Different thing.
Different thing.
Yeah.
One last question. I like hearing about people's work fuck-ups.
Oh, yeah.
You know, messing up in the workplace. I guess you playing music so long that a lot of your time in work has been playing music. Has there anything gone spectacularly wrong on stage that you've had to work out very quickly?
I have fallen off stage. Kind of hurt.
Damn.
My pride. But I don't really think about mistakes as such a big thing. I find I'm very at peace with them. I do mistakes all the time. Who cares? You go on and people forget. So I don't really know, because I don't care. It doesn't really stress me out. And yeah, I do mistakes all the time. Sometimes I hate when I do mistakes, so when I mistake myself so bad that I miss the plane. But I've only in my 10 years of touring cancelled 3 gigs. That was because I was at the hospital getting my appendix stolen by the American doctor service program. They took my appendix and I asked if I could have it back. But they said no. Bastards. But yeah, yes, mistakes all the time. But that's fine. It's worse when I talk in interviews. That's when I do the most mistakes. Because I can say so many weird things and it gets twisted around and then it looks odd.
When people take it out of context.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't do that here. We're professionals.
Bless.
And we're kind.
Bless you all.
And it's about you. It's about your story. That's our job. It's to elevate the artist, and it's the storytelling.
And the artist's job is hard to explain. You arrange the sounds to make it make sense for people. But then also you're like a servant to the people. Because you're there to make people feel good. And if you meet people, that's also kind of the underlying dynamic of the meeting. Is very like, it's very giving, or a job around giving, which is kind of gorgeous and exhausting, but beautiful. I fuck up a lot when I sign things. I signed like 5,000 signatures the other day, and towards like the last 2,000 signatures, they look like ass. I'm so sorry. To whoever at home gets the last remaining signatures, they're just like, Sometimes they're so bad that I write a letter on the back. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I've been writing for 3 hours these signatures and this looks like shit. Bless you. So I do apologize when it gets really bad, but I try my best. That's really bad. I'm really bad at that.
You could have a backup. You could have something that you draw.
I often draw small penises. Of the 6,000, I think I drew 5 penises on the back. So whoever gets that, that's right from Piss Girl. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Aurora.
Thank you for having me.
If you enjoyed this chat, make sure you subscribe to 101 Part-Time Jobs for more. We've done episodes with Idols, Yard Act, Self-Esteem, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, and so many more. We put out 2 episodes every week, and we'd love to have you there. Subscribe to 101 Part-Time Jobs on Spotify, Apple, and everywhere you get your podcasts.